This is Dirshu Mishnah Brura Reish Mem Dalid Sif Base. Says the Mechaber. Livsol Avanim. Uletakein Kairais. You're hewing out stones and you're chopping down beams. I feel Bebesu Shalim Yehudi is Aser. Why? Kivan de Letzerech Mechaberhu. Now we see that not only is Mechaber Aser for the guy to work inside your field, we even say that is a tzarech of a Mechaber as Aser. V'masakain, let's say the guy makes beams for you, he makes bricks for you. Lo yishakim b'binyan, you should not use them inside your house. Says the Ramavi Yeshem they made him a force of Shushal Yisrael. If we don't know that the guy is doing it for you, then Shari, then it will be allowed. Says the Dirshu over here, says the Mishnah Berurah over here. Sivkatin Yadalit Lefsol Avanim. V'davki shavanim v'kayir seim shel Yisrael and suddenly umanein Yehudi l'satatam u'letaknam. Talking about a case where the beams and the stones belong to a Yid, and he gave it to a guy to cut them out. The guy is doing his own items. And the Yid just made him a kablan. You're just hiring the guy, and he can do what he wants. He can cut down these beams for himself and give you other ones, or he can give you these. Then, it's not in the house of the Yid. It's going to be mutter. So if you commission a guy to make something, but he's making it on his own volition, his own time, and he could decide on his own which ones to give you, that will not be a problem. King goes of Atagum Mervava on the first Y line of the Mishnah Berurah. For our kid Mitzvah Advaz Chalishishi Sim Nevav Achshim Mesayim Sham. Let's say it's close to the building site, then Enoch Nadavar. Why again? Because people are going to think you hired him. And the reason why we have a problem here is Tzarech B'chaber who Sivkatan Desvav to the Shakim Ebinyin. Al Kain Chashvu Ke B'chaber it's considered B'chaber Tzarech Limchas B'Yadai. And move B'Tzarech Atzcham Avilu Isa Rachok Me Ebinyin, even if he did it far from the binyan, if it's your items that he's fixing, it has the same rules of Mechabar, and therefore if it's within the Tcham, you have to, he's not allowed. And over here the Mishnah Berurah is adding on an extra detail, Tzarech Limchas. You have to tell him to stop. The Yesh Aimrim continues Mishnah Berurah explaining the words of the Ramah that if not Meforsam Shal Yisrael, then it's going to be Mutter. Says Mishnah Berurah Sivkatin Yitzayin Yesh Aimrim Kaya Kulu. Dahainu Af Mechuber Gamur. Lasim Kabbalah Al Bistama. What is it also? Bistama. Everyone knows it belongs to the Yid. To Bistama Shem Yisrael Nikar Allah. Avul be a dual and Shem Meforsam Ben Yisrael Shem Yisrael. Let's say we know it's not. Why did the Ramah write it here? It's not so common because a building normally you know who the owner is. Over here, when it comes to stones and woods, it's more common to not know. But says the Mishnah Berurah, really, even on a binyan, if no one knows that's a Jewish house that they're working in, then it would be okay. Says Mishnah Berurah, whoa, don't get carried away. The Ramah doesn't mean it's a mutter. He just means you don't have to scream at him. You can't tell him to do it on Shabbos. But of course, if it's on the binyan, it's a problem. Mashma. They hold of this Ramah with regard to making stones. Even though the Mishnah Berurah just said that the Ramah himself is going all the way back on the karka, but says Mishnah Berurah, many achroinim want to be machalik. They'll pask in this way for the stones and the wood, but when it comes to mechaber gufa, you do a shushalai. Let's say it's a house, and we don't know that it's a yid's. Still, then they want to be machmer. So we're seeing over here a very important dichotomy. That even though there is a potential kula, but that potential kula is only going to be able to be utilized in this specific scenario of the stones of the wood, but not where many achronim says mishmur, there are those who are makel. What's the kula? Not to be moich, not to tell him for the first case. But even within that, many want to be machmer and mechaber gufa. Sivkat number 13 in the Dirshu. This is called Melachas Yisrael. Similarly, he says the Dirshu one who's mitzvah to a guy to make for him shoes. We're going to see in Reish and Beis. Even Shav Sha'arayas and Achi, someone sees him making shoes on Shabbos, you don't have to yell at him. Why you're wearing katzats? Because it's not yours. He's just making shoes. Eventually, you're going to get them. Because if guy wants, he can give you different shoes. Therefore, these items are not called yours, and therefore it's not a problem at all. If a guy Yisrael hires a guy to beat his flax in his chutzner of the yid, says the Shartzion, the guy should make an actual kinyan on them, and then he's mutter to do it. If it's done by kablanas, af minakayir laski mikablanas. You need all the levels, and then it's not mechobar. If you're niknatim, if you give it to the guy again, it's not really a sugi. When you see Rishon Beis, then there's going to be a kinyan. There'll be a kula. Shakin in a binyan is called mechobar. Says Dirshu 15, Kabli Yisrael Shabbat and Bayis of a guy. And he takes a kablan who's a guy. So you have a Yiddish contractor who's building for a guy, and there's other guyim that are working for him. He's allowed to work on Shabbos. Says the Mechas Yitzchak, it's allowed. Why? Because the whole malach of mechaber is dafka when you're in a base of Yisrael. But if it's all belonging to a guy, it's not going to be a problem. Therefore, when you're kaveas, if you're not kaveya malachta b'Shabbos, of course you can't tell the guy to work on Shabbos. But if the Jewish contractor hires a Goyish contractor to build for a guy, he would allow to let him do it. Ayin the Kaman, we're going to say b'diavad sees avadim taking a kairos in Yehudi. If he does b'kablanas, there's a makkah to be mekel, and we'll pick it up b'siyata d'shmaya from Sif Gimel in the next shir.